Alright, so, welcome viewers. We're going to talk about Battlefront 2 and the whole thing with EA and bullshit like that. Now,
Yeah, who doesn't love dumping on EA?
Now, I've played the game. James has not, which is weird because you're the video game guy and I'm not.
I'm very picky with the games I play.
Okay.
I usually know the games I want to play months in advance. Years in advance, even.
This will probably be a short video, so... Because there isn't really a lot to say about this except that EA fucking sucks, which is why it's getting its own video.
You're one of those people that loves to, make your videos like 10, 20 minutes long just ranting on about how something's terrible. This isn't going to be one of those things.
We say, and it's going to be 30 minutes long.
30 minutes.
I know.
No, it's not going to be 30 minutes. We're better than that.
We're better than that.
We're not even making ad revenue. So what's the point?
Yeah, true. What's the point?
We're long videos anyway. We're not even making money.
No, it was our plan to not get ad revenue until this point because then our channel would have been sponsored by Battlefront 2, and we wouldn't be able to make the video.
Who cares? We're not even advertiser friendly.
No, we're not
YouTube hasn't told us this yet. But we're just pretty sure that the things that we say and put in our videos is not advertiser friendly.
Oh no.
We're by no means a family fucking show, but we expect family-oriented people to watch our videos because why not?
Because we're moral, upstanding people. Now let me drink some more liquor. Anyway, the point
let me join while we talk.
Exactly. The point of this is that fucking EA's a bunch of fucking dipshits who fucking screwed over fucking players and are trying to be fucking assholes.
No, they fucked over everybody.
Yeah.
There is not a single person entity or people out there that have not been burned by what EA has done.
Right.
Unless you don't play the game and don't give a rat's ass, then I guess you're clean.
But yeah, it's just fucking it's ridiculous. Okay, with the fucking bullshit about the fucking loot crates, fucking Disney got involved apparently with EA because this was getting so much fucking news about basically EA was making it to where kids were gambling pretty much on fucking loot boxes, which is fucking illegal.
Right, well, at least they're not another company that's presently suing 14-year-olds for cheating at their games.
What the fuck is that?
Epic Games burn.
Oh.
Cough.
Oh. Sounds like you got some bullshit caught in your throat.
Maybe. Epic Games, what the fuck are you doing?
No, okay. So fucking, okay. First of all, the single-player campaign was the only reason I fucking bought the game. Was because I'm I want to play a fucking single-player campaign. I'm not usually a multiplayer person. The single-player campaign is a fucking joke, and I'm going to explain to you, because I'm pulling up the game now, to tell you, because I beat the single-player campaign, I'm going to tell you how many fucking levels you actually play as the Imperial Special Forces, and what the rest of the game is in the single-player campaign. It's fucking a waste of goddamn money. There's no effort put into it. It's fucking... and not to mention, the fucking loading screens take for fucking ever. And it's not even that I have it on a disc. The game is downloaded onto my PS4 from the PlayStation Network. From the PlayStation Store. And it still takes fucking forever to fucking load this shit. Okay? And fucking, the reason I'm having this up is so I can fucking explain some of this shit, just so I can fucking, if I forget anything. Okay. Go to campaign. Mission select. So you've got the tutorial mission, okay, where you play as the main character. You've got the Battle of Endor, okay? And then you've got the flying part, so that's 3 levels. Only one of them is a tutorial, so that's not really a level. Then you play as Luke Skywalker. Then you play as... the character again for another mission. Then you go back to then you on the Storm level, which is the 4th level technically, not counting the tutorial, you turn against the Empire. Okay, so you run away from the Empire. Then in Outcast, you're trying to escape the planet. And then in the next mission, you're playing as Princess Leia on Naboo. Okay? Then you jump ahead 6 to 7 months, and you're playing as Han Solo for 2 missions, basically. And then you play the character that you were playing, who's now a rebel, fully fledged rebel. Then you play as Lando for a level, and you go back to playing the main character, which is the final level you play as her, and then the final level is Kylo Ren. James, what's your opinion?
My opinion is EA essentially lied to people.
Yeah.
They lied. We were promised a full campaign, original story and everything, set post Return of the ending post Return of the Jedi.
Well, the game starts post Return of the Jedi, technically.
Yeah, post Return of the Jedi, with this original, old, independent characters as our protagonist. A huge selling point for the campaign.
And the whole campaign was basically saying, you're part of the Empire. That was the whole marketing campaign.
Yeah, the whole is getting a Star Wars game where one of the few Star Wars games where you actually get to play things from the Empire's perspective.
Yeah.
Is essentially a supporting character in her own goddamn story.
Right.
What the fuck is that?
And I can tell you why you play as Luke, Leia, Han, and Lando and these other characters. You know why? You know why that's in the single-player campaign? To show you how they play so you can use them in the multiplayer.
Oh. I was going to say padding.
Well, that too. But
Because they probably knew the campaign was going to be dull as dirt and incredibly short. So they thought, holy shit, we need to make this thing longer. How do we do that? Let's let you play some of the other, playable characters you can be in the multiplayer. Put it in. That's what that kind of feels like, sounds or feels like, is it's just they had this interesting idea that they executed, but realized it wasn't going to get as mileage as a good campaign in a single player game should have.
Right.
So they padded it out by essentially putting multiplayer related content in your single player story. Okay.
So, now, as we all know, you have to unlock certain things in the game. Okay? Now I'm gonna read off how many points it costs you earn. You have to earn points by playing matches. Okay? And doing things in the game. And I'm going to tell you how many points you have to use to unlock certain characters that you want to play. Okay? And these are just a few. Right. These are the characters that I have yet to unlock. Because I haven't unlocked anybody. So this is what you don't have. You got to pay $10,000 for Chewbacca. Okay? If you want to use Chewie. You got to pay $15,000 for Vader. You gotta pay $5,000 for Inda Verso, who's the name of the character in the single-player campaign. Okay, so you don't even get to play the character that you played in the single-player campaign in the multiplayer. Then you've got to pay $10,000 for the Emperor, $10,000 for Leia, and then $15,000 for Luke.
Wow. Love money much, EA? That's a trick question.
Right.
Of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the actress that played the main character in the single player campaign is pissed about this.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's out there pissed that she got the shaft in terms of this game. Like, they were creating not only a kick-ass idea for a story for a Star Wars game.
Yeah.
But they had a seemingly really badass female protagonist for their story.
Right.
That would have added greatly to the number of things that came out this year that had great female characters. And not only does she not have enough screen time, but she doesn't, from what I'm getting, she doesn't do much.
Right. You know.
And that sucks. It's almost like she's the video game equivalent of Captain Phasma.
Honestly, Captain Phasma had a bigger arc than she does in this movie. Or she does in this game. Because you don't see her arc. She's, like, it cuts from her just joining the rebellion with Leia and shit on Naboo. And fucking, then it cuts to, like, 6 to 7 months later. Okay? And she's like, General Organa! It's been a while! So I
can't roll my eyes so hard enough at this.
So there's no, like, we don't get to see her, like, having to earn the respect of the rebellion. We don't see her, like, how she has to adjust to life, leaving behind everything.
Why would they let her in the rebellion in the first place?
Exactly. There's not, like, she was special forces. She killed people that you knew. Personally.
Why don't you just shoot her on sight? That probably would have made up for the immense amounts of collateral.
Oh, well, no, don't worry. It gets worse because, like, when they turn themselves in immediately, like, you were in a starfight, space battle thing. So their response is, okay, we don't trust you, but we're going to give you both X-Wings, and you're going to go out and fight your former friends to prove to us that you're on our side. That would be like if we capture if like German soldiers came to our side during World War II and said, "Hey, we want to join the Allies." Okay, but we're only gonna give you tanks to fight on the battlefield against the Nazis.
Wow, that's just
like nobody would do that.
No. They would have been like, nope, sorry, offer turned down. We're going to shoot you now.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been the rational thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's just bad writing.
Yeah.
Like, now, if she was kind of like Finn, who was a character that's working with the bad guys, but really and had a change of heart,
right?
Who hasn't really done? Who was conflicted the whole time about their place in this,
and shows that he's conflicted and actually risks something leaving the leaving the Empire, and it makes sense because there's a whole setup to his arc. He doesn't just show up the Resistance and say, "I'm with you guys." He gets BB-8. He teams up with Rey, teams up with Solo, gets BB-8 to the Resistance, helps fight the Stormtroopers, Yeah,
he proves he proves self and shows his place.
Right. And like
he shows his colors and shows the
and Poe Dameron sticks up for him, and Poe Dameron is a fucking he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you buy it. And you also see that Finn, even in the beginning of the film, doesn't want to be a stormtrooper.
Yeah, again, that like I said, conflicted.
Do you want to know what the first thing we see with this character is?
What?
Oh, she's captured by the rebels saying that, "You rebel scum, you will be destroyed by the Empire. The Empire's time has come."
That would have been... Yeah, that's awesome. That just...
And then she's shocked that the Empire... She's shocked that the Empire is the bad guy.
I wouldn't be.
I mean,
if I worked for the Empire, I'd pretty much say, this is the status quo. They have to be the good guy. Right?
Oh, well, you haven't... I haven't told you about the greatest thing at near the second to last level of the game when you're going to rescue...
Oh, please tell me. Please tell us.
The character's father, right? You're rescuing the character's father. And she's like, "Dad..."
Wow, one much?
Dad, we gotta go. Dad, we gotta go. You know, can't you see that the Empire is evil? Yes, I know the Empire is evil, but you were able to change. You were able to leave. It's too late for me. My soul has been consumed by the dark side, and there's no way that I can change. So let me die here in the starship.
Oh my god. Dude, if your daughter was able to change lives by literally topping borders from the bad guys to the good guys, I think you can do the same thing.
Right. You know.
If Vader was able to find the side of good at the last possible second in Jedi, then I think you hop changing sides can be pretty believable.
Right. You know, it's just like honestly, this is how bad the single player campaign is. I actually thought about playing through on like a harder difficulty, but like it just kind of said if you restart the campaign, you won't be able to do level select anymore. And I'm like, do I really want to do that? You know?
Is it worth it? Is it worth being robbed of the ability to play the best parts, if there are any?
I mean, like, it's like fucking... Not to mention, some of the levels are just so fucking short. It's not even funny.
Yeah. It's like,
like, the tutorial level is longer than some of the levels.
Wow. That's weird.
You know? Which, okay, the tutorial level, I know why. Here's the thing. I know why they showed the first 3 levels at, like, you know, for people to see at, like, conventions and stuff. You know why they only show the first 3 levels? Because after that is pretty much when you join the rebellion.
Son of a bitch. That's awful.
Right.
That's terrible. Halo 5's starting to look pretty good, isn't it now, people?
No. No, it's not.
No, I kid. Halo 5 has similar problems, but those are isolated to that only, so.
Well, I mean, like I said, you know, Halo 5 just split the campaign.
Well, yeah, the similarities are is that the similarities with Halo 5's issues is that, like Battlefront 2, it takes a promising idea for a story, for a single-player campaign that's going to show you things that you've never seen before in the Halo universe, and then doesn't deliver on those promises.
Right.
You play... I remember playing it for the first time, and the only time, because I was really pissed when I played it. You think, oh, it's going to be this great story that's going to, again, like, it's going to do things in the Halo universe that we haven't seen before with all these great characters that we've gotten to know for a long time, and then you play it and you're like, they fucking lied to us.
Yeah.
They said it was going to be like this, but I played it and it's not like that. It's totally a lie. Master Chief is barely in the story. It's all about these new characters that we kind of know but don't really give much of a shit about. And this whole plot that makes absolutely zero fucking sense, and
yeah,
it's a clusterfuck that outright lied to its fans and doesn't live up,
yeah,
to promises that it set out to deliver, which is unfortunate. And Battlefront 2 does a similar, if not practically the same thing.
Well, and the multiplayer is like, people are like, well, the multiplayer is what the game's meant for. Okay, let's talk about the fucking multiplayer. It's fucking pay to win. It's pay to win. And, like, that's not fucking fun.
Multiplayer should be something that anyone can approach.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am far from, like, good at video games. But, like, there are levels where I'll get, like, 7 or 8 kills and, like, 5 deaths, which I think is pretty fair.
Sure.
And then there are levels where it's, like, the next level I play in multiplayer is I got killed 17 times and got 2 kills.
Yeah. There has to be a balance so anyone can hop in and enjoy it equally.
Right. And
you don't have balance, then it's not fun.
Right.
As another person, I love video games to death, but I'm not a huge multiplayer game player. I like single player. I will pick single player games over multiplayer focused ones any day of the week. That's just who I am. But every now and again, I will pick up and play a multiplayer game, and try to enjoy it. And I usually have a pretty good time, depending on what game it is, depending on what kind of community there is, and I do pretty decent sometimes, do pretty bad other times. Again, it depends on your individual skill and just how you play and how you play at the time.
Right.
There's the ups and the downs, but the point is there's a balance. You never feel outmatched.
Right.
Every match should be an equal opportunity for everybody playing to win.
Yeah.
None of this pay-to-win bullshit where it literally takes money, real fucking currency, to get anywhere.
Yeah. That's
not appropriate game design. That's just petty and cheap.
Yeah. And there's that thing that that Disney is really getting pissed at, that fucking got pissed at EA because this game is coming so close out to The Last Jedi that it's creating bad buzz.
Well, they pretty much struck out 3 times. They've already pretty much struck out 3 times ever since they got the license to the present day. Battlefront 1 was a lukewarm mess of sorts. Battlefront 2 was kind of the same thing, just slightly better, but probably much worse given the shit it's getting and the controversy surrounding it. And then Strike Number 3 was fucking closing down Visceral and saying that they're going to restructure and rebuild their upcoming third-person action-adventure game that they were working on.
Yeah.
They closed an entire developer down just so they can restructure and rework the game that they spent hundreds of man-hours and a good couple of years building, acquainted to nothing now. All of that work that could have turned into a really good game that would have made up for this shit show that we currently have, gone. Because EA doesn't know what they're fucking doing.
Right.
And that's frustrating.
Huh.
It's painful. Like, Disney has every right to be ticked off. I mean, bad press in one hand, and the fact that EA is doing complete disservice to their brand.
Yeah.
We were promised. They were given an honor of a lifetime as a publisher with all these internal developers to create really great games that we, the fan base, and others alike can enjoy.
Right. Well, there's so much there's so many things you can do with Star Wars in a video game.
Yes.
Particularly with the Battlefront license.
Yeah.
There's no Galactic Conquest. There's no single-player campaign. It's balanced terribly. They brought back the Clash system, but they still have the Star Card system, which is a bullshit system anyway. Sorry, my phone was going off. But fucking no, no, it's a bullshit system.
Yeah. It's clearly about the money when the money the object of money should end at overall sales of the product.
Right.
The scope should be to create the best game possible at the given present time with the resources available at said present time. And the desire for money should end at sales.
Right.
None of this pay-to-win bullshit and microtransaction nonsense that is a way of sustaining income over the course of a game's lifespan. You don't do that. If they really wanted to make it about microtransactions, they could have settled it like this, where progression multiplayer and progression is all balanced out and equal and fair for all players. And for those that might want a little bit extra or a bit of an additional edge, they can pay for it if they so choose to.
Right, not basic shit you need in order to play the fucking game.
Yes. Take what is a good example of this?
Arkham Knight.
I'm gonna use Uncharted 4 as an example.
What about
one of my favorite multiplayer experiences in a video game? Community is great, gameplay is fun, but progression is fun. If you take the time, if you're like me, who every now and again will spend maybe a day or two just binge playing multiplayer matches to level up, progress, unlock new stuff, it's pretty balanced. The more you put into the game, the more you'll get.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. And as an added bonus, if you want a little extra, if you want a little bit of extra in-game currency, if you maybe want to unlock, because the way the community is built is it's all built around the in-game currency that you unlock by playing the multiplayer modes,
right?
Which you can use to buy loot boxes, which give you unlockables like new guns, costumes, costume shaders, bonus stuff. But you can get that with not what?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, what's another good example of not a great game, but a game that did like the DLC, like extra stuff well. Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
Where like they just had story packs that like you could just download, and then you could just. I think they like charged a couple bucks for like different skins, but it wasn't necessary shit in order you needed to play the game. If you wanted to play, if you wanted to play Arkham Knight as '60s Batman, you could just do that, or get the Michael Keaton costume or stuff like that, where it was just kind of okay here,
The game is a complete package in its own right,
right?
And if you want a little, and if you finish all of that stuff, you finish the story, and you finish all the side missions and get all the collectibles, and you want a little bit more some more game time, you can buy the story expansions, which are not relatively expensive these days. I think I don't really know because I actually a couple months. I think it was last year or something. A couple months ago, I was able to get the entire season pass for less than $10, which was great.
Yeah.
But how they approached the model is that they had a batch of free content where if you wanted to get some extra costumes that you could use in the game, you could get those for free. Like if you wanted the Christian Bale Batman costume, you could get that for free. If you wanted the New 52 costumes, you could get those for free. But if you wanted a little bit more, for just a couple dollars, you could get story expansions, you could get costume packs, you could get the Batmobile levels.
Right.
It's not going to break the bank, and you could get the season pass for a relatively affordable price now. That it's not going to be taxing.
Well, and then the problem with multiplayer-only games, which is basically what this is. This is a multiplayer-only game. The community is going to go away.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to bring people back. I mean, I'll guarantee you Battlefront 1 servers are already dead.
Yeah. Well, on the subject of EA, here's an excellent example of this. Does anyone remember when Titanfall came out? The first Titanfall came out for the Xbox One during that system's launch.
I remember it, yeah.
Is anybody still playing it?
I never played it.
Is there anybody out there? Because Titanfall was an Xbox One exclusive. Is anyone out there still presently playing Titanfall for the Xbox One? I doubt anybody's even playing it for the Xbox 360. Point is, that community is probably fucking dead.
Yeah.
It is dead in the water. I don't recall it having this bad of a microtransaction DLC system, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume it probably was something similar caliber.
Right.
But point is, people are gonna move on.
Yeah.
People are gonna wake up and are gonna smell the roses, face the music, whatever metaphor you want to use, and realize this is a waste of time or a lost cause, and I'm going to go find something better to play.
Right.
It's 2017. You have plenty of other options.
I wish... You realize how much money they would make if they would just re-release the original Battlefront 2?
Well, you know how much money they could have made if they actually just released the original Battlefront 3?
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty much finished.
It was like, what, 95% done?
Yeah, it was ready for publishing. They were just still, they were still just fixing bugs in the multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
But the game was otherwise done.
Yeah.
They could have easily picked it back up, finished it, and shipped it out to the masses, and we would have loved it. Because EA has an ego.
No, because there wouldn't have been loot boxes, and EA knows that.
No, they have a shitty business model and an ego.
Yeah.
They think, no, we're better. We can get better people to make these games.
I mean, it's sad because the game is so fucking beautiful to look at.
Yeah. I remember playing the beta for the first Battlefront, and I just sat there and I was like, this looks really good.
Right?
Those are some of the better parts of the man hours put into the game's development was because I remember when a big part of the interviews for that was they actually got hands on original props and materials that they use for reference and scan into the game to create the best looking and most authentic looking assets they could for the game. And it was almost mind blowing to see how realistic those look.
And the sound design is great. TIE fighters sound like TIE fighters. X-wings sound like X-wings.
And the weapons and the explosions that'll look like what you'd see in a Star Wars movie. It was fantastic.
It's great.
But that's kind of where the pros end.
Yeah.
We're
at 31 minutes, or 32 minutes.
Holy shit, I think, well, like I said, we're not making ad revenue off this, so we're not padding this out just to make money.
Right. Do we have anything else to say on Battlefront?
Battlefront 2, I don't know what else to say about it. I don't know if it can be salvaged.
If you don't already own the game, don't buy it. It's not worth it.
Don't bother. I don't even care if it's like post Black Friday sales. Don't touch it. I'm not going to.
And I'm not going to buy Battlefront 3. Yeah. I'm refusing to buy Battlefront 3.
I'm hoping the silver lining or the phoenix from the ashes in this situation is Disney pulls the license and hands it to either to another developer or publisher or a series of different developers that will do more justice to the brand than EA ever could.
Yeah. And I hope EA goes bankrupt.
Take your holiday money and go spend it on something that's actually gonna be fun for you. Go buy Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. Enjoy the less than 10, roughly 10 hours it's gonna take you to finish that campaign, and jump right into its multiplayer.
Right.
That's gonna get you more. That's gonna be more fun and do more justice to what you pay for it than Battlefront 2.
You know what? Honestly, what game I think is probably what I would say is a fun game that I don't think a lot of people played. Did you ever play the Ratchet and Clank reboot?
I did.
And I liked it. It's not great, but it's fine.
The first couple hours of it I thought were pretty fun, but then the rest of it felt like a chore.
Right. I mean, but I'm saying like I'm giving an example of like there are other older games.
Yeah, there are, and
that you can get that have a single player campaign that is fun and all that, and yeah, you
can probably get the game for relatively low price, like for a low price these days.
Yeah.
If you have the time, I mean, give it a try. Those first couple of hours are pretty fun.
Yeah. So.
And then, but Insomniac got better things to do, like giving us the best Spider-Man game ever made. So,
which I'm fucking looking forward to.
No, we'll have time to talk about Spider-Man
later. But fucking
in a week.
What?
What PlayStation experience is in a week?
Oh, they're doing like.
Did you know this?
No, what are you talking? Okay, I think we're done with Battlefront. Well, we're done with Battlefront 2, and
yeah, we're done with that. If you want to talk more in depth about this, post it in the comments. We should start doing that. If you want to talk to us about these subjects in more depth, go to the comments.
Go to the comments and
start doing
like and subscribe.
I wouldn't say like, share, and subscribe. I mean that they just We don't know what we're doing.
We never know what we're doing. We're just gonna
Terrible branding.
We're just gonna end the video and have fun. So bye.